Hello everyone, welcome back to our CAD tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to use these two components that were designed by my last class to form an assembly which should give us something like this. I want you guys to pay attention to this step because this step is actually very crucial. Remember from our last encounter, I have actually done an assembly on this very model, but it was actually that kind of assembly did not come with the threading region and also the bolts, the X bolt. So it's actually a very simple approach, but this one right now we're working with the instruction that was given to us by the manual. So that's actually what needs to be understood about this very exercise. So now let's jump straight to Solidworks and see how we can achieve this. So the first thing you do is that you go to your insert component and then you bring out the model that we've designed. So my model was actually found here because immediately I designed my model, I went straight to assembly. So if you did yours that way, you will see your model over here. But if you actually if you actually went ahead with the assembly maybe a day or 2 days later, this place will be very empty. But you find it over here. You go to your browse. So once you go to your browse, you will see a display where you can actually fetch your file from the external drive on your system. So then you type what you need and then you get what you want. So after that, then we get to this point and then we continue from there. So now this is actually what we have in our Solidworks. Now I'm going to position this thing accordingly so that it's going to look exactly as how I want it to be. So mind you, any model that was brought forth in your assembly will be fixed. So that should be something that you need to know. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to duplicate this model, or rather I'll just bring out it. I'm going to bring it out from here, and also I can as well bring another one from here so that it's going to give us a more suitable workflow. Now there's actually 3 of them, but you can go as far as bringing all of them out so that it's going to be very easy for you. Now the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to align all these components together so that it's going to make it easier for me to slot in this thing respectively. So the first thing I do is to go to the mate, and then I'm going to make the lower part of this layer to this upper layer, the surface of this layer, and then that's it. Then the next thing is that I'm going to align these two plates together so that it's going to be in a very straight arrangement. So that will be achieved by many functions, but one of the functions that I know about this very thing is to go to the advanced. You go to your advanced, then under the advanced you will see many type of mates. So one of them that you're going to choose is the one that goes with the word width. So you click your width, and then what you're going to do is that you're going to select each side of the individual plate. So once you select the 2 sides of the individual plate, it's going to store the information at this very section. Then you go to the next section, and from there you go to the plate below it, and then you click the side and this and the other side too. So after doing that, you will see that the plate now has been arranged accordingly. So that is to say, it is now clipped to each other. It is now constrained to just this this particular direction. It can't deviate side by side any longer. So with that, then I just exit from here. So the next thing to do is that I'm going to connect this bolt into this very hole, and then we move further from there. So I'm going to just bolt this for us to see it very well. Now the first step is that I'm going to since this is a smooth surface, there's no need for us to create a screw kind of mate here. Rather, we just go to our normal mating system. Then from this mate, you select the hole inside the plate, and also the cylindrical part of this X bolt. So once you are done, then you save. Now after that has been achieved, I'm going to screw this model into the plate below, and if I'm going to do this directly, it's going to be very difficult for me because this model is actually obstructing the way for me to see what is actually below it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to hide this component. So hiding is actually will make sure that this component kind of fade away from the graphics area, but that doesn't mean that it's deleted. Actually, it's still there, which is signified by this. In respect to the remaining kind of model, you can see that this is actually white, so that shows that the model is there, but it's actually hidden. Now it's hidden, so it gives me the chance to align this model straight together. So I'm just going to bring this closer to it. I'm going to bring this bolt closer to it, and then the next thing to do is that I'm going to bolt it together, so we're going to see what is actually there to work on. So I'm going to do it again. All right, so I go to my mate, then inside the mate there's a part of mate which is called the mechanical. So under the mechanical, you will see another set of mates. So among the mate that you see over here, you go to your screw, and then in that screw, I'm going to select the tip of the thread, the thinnest part of the thread at the tip. I select it. So once I select it, and I also try to select the tip of this thread below at the O, at this very O. So I'm just going to select that tip as well. So what it's going to do is that it's going to align itself accordingly. So it's going to align itself accordingly, but we just need to be very careful at this very moment, because we are dealing with it. If anything that has to do with mate, it has to be done with care and precision. You do not want to move to the wrong place to click anything. You can just imagine how it's actually giving some little bit of tough time, but when you select the right kind of the thread, it's going to align itself. So next time you actually must know where and where not to choose. So I choose this tip and also the tip over here, for it to allow the two model to join together. So once you are done, you just click this box, and then let's see what we've done so far. Now this is actually our mate. This is actually the mate. So now you can now twist this model, and then you can see the reaction of how it's going to move. Now at this very stage, we have a bolt or a screw that can be drilled inside its respective position, and then it gives us what we're actually looking for. So I can actually unscrew it, or I can screw it back depending on the direction of your choice. Now after that, I'm going to make this plate visible for us. So now we can see now the plate is now visible. So that I'm just going to screw it back, and then that is all. So now we can actually stop here, or we can keep doing what you want to do. But there's one thing that I want you guys to understand in this aspect is that the more you turn, the more it keeps going down. So there is no restriction to where it's supposed to stop, because in real life, when you are trying to screw something together, at least there should be a point whereby the surface of the layer the surface of two layers must meet together for you to create a stop, right? But this is actually a 3D model. We are actually working with illustration, so it's not going to assume the stop gap of this very model. Rather, we are the one to give it the restriction of where it should stop. So the only way that can happen is that you go to your mate, go to the mate, and then in the mate you will go to the advanced. So in the advanced, you move down, and then you go to this section. Then you see the section that goes by the name distance. So once you click the distance, it's actually going to give us it's going to constrain the model to how far it can move. So now I'm going to do something right now by clicking this surface, and this surface, and the surface of the lower part of the boat. So now you can see now that the two objects now are now made together. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to constrain the movement to let's say 10 millimeter apart. Yes, and then the maximum contact should be 1 millimeter. So that is, once the distance between this mate with this very plate should be 1 millimeter, like that is actually should be the highest distance between them. So let's save this model and let's see what we're trying to say. Now this is actually this way it stops. So we from the instruction that was given to it, this is the final distance it can reach. You can see now that there's no way it can be twisted any longer. It's actually the final distance, and the reason why is that I've given it the maximum distance between this plate and the surface of the lower surface of this boat. So the highest distance between the two of them is just 1 millimeter, and then the highest distance apart should be 10 millimeter. So that is when I begin to unscrew it. Okay, let's bolt this. Let's unbolt it. Now I'm going to unscrew it. Then I'm going to unscrew this very model to see what I'm trying to say to you. So we're going to get to a point whereby we've reached the final distance of the distance between the boat with the plate apart. So now we can see now that it has stopped moving. There's no way it can move again, because the distance between the current distance between the plate and this surface is now 10 millimeter apart, it was instructed to us by this very mate type. So now with that, now at least we can actually constrain our mate to the perfect place where it should be. So now I'm going to screw it back, and then from here I think we are done with that. So I'm going to save this model. So the next thing I do is that I'm going to bring back my my X bolt, another X bolt from here, and then place it to this very place, and then I position it well. So from what I did the last time on this very one, we can actually do it. We can actually continue with it with that same process. So the first you do is that you just go to your mate, and then you select the O, the surface of the O, and also the cylindrical part, and then from there so now I go back to my mate again, but first of all I make sure I bold it so that we see what we are trying to achieve. So I go to my mate, make sure you delete anything that comes initially, because that's not what you are trying to do. If not, it's going to give you something different. So I go to the screw, and then I select the place there. I select the threading region, that is the tip part of it. So there's one thing that you need to know, is that you are dealing with thread, so you need to be very, very careful, because it's kind of affect the processor of your system. So that depends on the type of system that you are using. Just like mine, the processor is not that very fast. So if you are dealing with so it's actually the flaw will actually showcase itself when you are dealing with thread. But for those who are using a very fast processor, it's going to be very fast for you. Now I select the thread part of the plate. This can take some few time, but that's actually the stress concerning thread in Solidworks. So once you are done, then I save it, and then I think that's actually what you need to know about it. Then you bring back your model, and then you fix it back. So we are done with. Then from there, I think we are actually done with this very step. So you can see that this explanation is quite straightforward, and it's kind of more technical and more advanced than what we'll be doing so far. So with this kind of flow, we can continue to assemble this model until you get to where you should stop. So when it comes to this very model, you can see that it's quite different from what should be given to you, but it's quite different from what it should be given to you. But the thing is that you should just do your best to complete it as how it was instructed to you by the manual. So from the manual, I think we can actually know where to stop. I don't know, I think I've moved far from where I'm supposed to go. Okay, somewhere around here. No. Okay, so this is where we are. So now you can try as much as possible to complete this whole thing, so that you can master the new tricks that I've taught you in this very model. Thank you for your time, thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye for now.